Hi, I am Julie Newell. I'm a Senegence independent distributor, and I'm back again talking about the HairCovery system. Now, I've had, since my last couple videos, I have had a lot of questions, and so I just want to address some of those questions of just the daily common things that people are asking, okay? So probably the first question I have is, why is my hair still greasy? So what I have learned and keep trying to teach people is your hair should feel clean when you're done washing it. So that doesn't mean just because our shampoos don't suds as much, you still want to get a sudsing out of it. It is going to suds, and if your hair is too greasy and too oily or has too much product on it and you're not getting that off, the sudsing isn't really going to happen. So if you did shampoo and it just like you felt like your shampoo disappeared when you put it on the hair and you weren't getting sudsing in, even if you activated it first, put it through the hair, maybe you even felt like you used enough. That's okay. Rinse that out, and I want you to do it again, starting with enough water in your hair, emulsifying the product before you put it in, and then dotting it through like this, and then massaging it in. Now, and remember, we're not focusing on the ends. When we're shampooing, we're just going to focus on the roots and getting all of that out of the scalp and out of the roots of the hair. By default, your ends are going to get cleansed, and they don't really need it unless you've got some thick, heavy stuff in there. And in that case, I say use a clarifying shampoo before you use ours. Ours is a system. It's going to help the pH of the hair. It's going to help the integrity of the hair, but I don't feel like it's your go get a pound of gel out of your hair shampoo. It's more of a specific treatment type shampoo, okay? So definitely use a different shampoo before that. And even if you don't have a ton of stuff in your hair, feel free to use another shampoo before you use our system, because we're working on thickness and regrowth. And that can be more specific when you can really get in there and get into the roots of the hair and not having to fight through all of this other product stuff. Does that make sense? Okay, so shampoo once, twice. I even had to shampoo a third time because I wasn't using the correct amount when I was shampooing the first couple times. I still wasn't getting a sudsing, so I was like, all right, let's try this again. So I did a third time, and probably because the first two times I wasn't using enough in my hand. And I felt like the third time I got tons of sudsing and my hair felt really clean. So you're gonna learn, just be aware and use enough, and shampoo at least 2 times if you're having trouble with sudsing. A lot of people say they don't have any trouble, and that's great. Okay, the second question I've been getting is, my hair feels too dry. So a couple things could be happening with this. Sideways. The fact that you're using too much product, okay? So like too much meaning you're getting it all through your ends, it's sudsing properly, and you're just using a ton of shampoo on there. Or you started with really dry hair, so that's another thing to keep in fact, and we'll touch on that. And those are usually the two things, or you're not using enough conditioner, okay? So if you're using too much and you're getting a ton and you're putting it all throughout your ends, you've got long hair, you started with dry hair, stop that. Focus on just using your shampoo in the roots, okay? We shampoo the roots, condition the ends. Always remember that. So most of our focus is going to be in the roots. Now when it comes time to condition, again, make sure you're using enough. I know the bottle says a dime size, and that might be okay for some hair types, but if you're not feeling that nice smooth sleeky all the way through the ends, then add a little more. Leave it in a little bit longer. You can even put a shower cap on it and add heat, add a blow dryer to it, or go sit out in the sun if you're in a sunny area. You can take it with you to your hairdresser and say, hey, can we put this on under the dryer for a few minutes? And I'm sure if you tell her ahead of time that they'll be able to plan for that. The other thing is, if you started out with really fried dry hair, like I have an area up here at the front of my head that literally was so chewed up that I couldn't, I know what I'm doing, and I couldn't get it to flat iron smooth to conceal the fact that it was so dried up. And just one time using our product, it laid smooth. So I know I have so many different textures in my hair. I have extensions in my hair for thickness, and it does really well even with my extension pieces. And that is a big test of if a product is moisturizing enough, because extension hair is treated. And then I also have a little bit of thick hair, I have frizzy hair, I have curly hair, in the back I have some fine limp hair. So I kind of have a head of all textures to know if a product's working or not. Now what happens if you're feeling too greasy is a lot of times when we're not getting it clean, right? We use the dime size shampoo and we maybe only shampoo once or twice, it's still not sudsing. And then we go use our conditioner that's job is to seal down that cuticle to close the hair shaft back down and smooth. Well, guess what it's happening when it's closing that back down? It's sealing back in all the stuff that you didn't get off. And so let's say you wash your hair every 2 to 3 days, as your cuticle starts opening through those 2 to 3 days, out is sliding all that grease and yuck that you didn't get off on the first time. So definitely make sure your hair is clean enough before you use our conditioner, because it's gonna seal down that cuticle and trap in all those good nutrients, but along with whatever was already on the hair. Does that make sense? So remember that those could be some things for the greasiness. Not using enough shampoo and getting it clean enough, and then putting our conditioner on top of it that's sealing it in. The fact of using too much conditioner, that could be a thing, but I think we're all pretty careful with the amounts. And so I think the first thing that I was talking about is probably the reason for it being too greasy. Okay, so I hear a lot of people saying, I don't have anything in my hair and look at all my volume. That's fantastic. And to tell you the truth, I don't have anything in my hair because just by error, and my hair feels super smooth, soft, tons of volume, not a lot of frizz, which is unheard of for me. So this was actually the first time I'd ever done that. So I can attest to that. But here's the reason that I still want you to use styling products. So the shampoo and conditioner's job is to clean and close down that cuticle, restore the pH, trap in some nutrients. Its job is not to style your hair and give it body and give it hold and give it texture. That is your styling product's job. And so if you have curly hair, use a product for curly hair. For styling products, one basic rule I like to teach people is there's usually 2 types of products you put in your hair when it's wet, and that's either a gel or a mousse or a cream. And I feel like a cream is a blend of gel and mousse. So let's think about gel. Gel is usually hard, not hard, it's usually dense, like heavy, and it is usually shiny. And that is kind of what it's going to do to your hair. It's going to give control, make it more shiny, and kind of weigh it down and be dense and give it hold. When you think of the consistency of mousse, you think light, fluffy, airy. So that's what it's going to do to your hair. Mousse's job is to make it be more light, fluffy, and airy with a little bit less hold. So you're going to use that for more body. Now creams are the combination of 2. So like styling creams, blowout creams, are fantastic for curly hair or frizzy hair because it has the control of the gel, but it still has the lightness of the mousse to give it some body. And then usually there's like a little bit of a smoothing serum in there that helps lay down the frizz and keep it smooth and calm. Okay, so pick a styling product. And the reason you use styling product is to do those things, to help your hair be its best and to protect it. So the sun, the wind, heat tools are terrible for our hair. And so without a layer of protection, which our conditioner and our shampoo are going to do that already, but let's put another layer on top of that, because unless you're using 0 styling products and you never put your hair back in a ponytail, you need to protect each individual hair strand. So when we put on that styling product, put it all throughout our hair, each individual styling product, or each individual strand is being protected from the sun, from the wind, from your blow dryer, from your curling iron, the best that it possibly can. So the integrity of your hair is going to be even better when you use our products and a styling product. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, now how long will I see results? That's going to depend for each person. So I have clients that will come in and say, my hair grows like a weed, or I'll have clients come in and say, my hair takes forever to grow. So if you already know your type of growth, that's typically how fast you're going to see the results. Someone that has hair that grows really fast, they're going to see results a little faster just because their own system, it grows at a faster pace. people that feel like their hair doesn't grow at all and it's just super slow. Mostly I find that that's usually their ends are breaking off. It's definitely growing out from the roots, but their hair isn't strong enough at the ends, and so it starts breaking off. So you're gonna see two things happen. You're not necessarily gonna see your hair growing faster. You're gonna see new hair coming in, and then at the root of the hair that was already there, growing in is going to be thicker. And then the ends that were breaking off before should be holding and be stronger, so that as your hair grows out, it's growing out healthier, longer, more luminous, right? So they say in 4 months you'll be able to see results, and knowing that a hair grows about 1/2 inch a month is the average. So 1/2 inch is, I mean, my 3 fingers together, I know they look bigger up front, is 2 inches. So 1/2 inch a month, that's 4 months, you'll see 2 inches of growth. So within 4 months, you should be able to see a little bit thicker, maybe some new growth coming through, and that the integrity of your hair will be much smoother, healthier, calmer. Okay, does it help medical conditions like alopecia, baldness, seborrheic dermatitis, what's the other one, psoriasis? We cannot make any claims that it is going to heal or fix any of these problems. Is it going to hurt? No, absolutely not. It's going to do its best at helping you through these problems, but we cannot say that it's going to heal or fix any of these things, but it can help relieve symptoms of these problems. Now, my husband is the biggest skeptic of anything. We have tried, paid thousands of dollars for hair growth systems and stuff like that, like at a doctor, and it hasn't worked. And then he does get like sores on his head, and I know a lot of men fight that, and sometimes even women will get sores underneath that are really sore. And so, and he has, what's the word? Dandruff. And so he said to me this morning, he goes, I had a lot of sores on my head, and I used your shampoo yesterday, and they're all gone this morning. I'm like, gone? He's like, gone. I'm like, wow, okay. And he's a skeptic, and I wasn't trying to make him, like, he brought it up. So that's huge. And so he fights the dandruff and those sores, and one day it helped relieve those symptoms. So that's fantastic. Baldness, it can help relieve symptoms. Alopecia is something that I really don't think that is something that you need to handle with a doctor. The shampoo is not going to fix it, but it's going to help. People that fight alopecia fight bald spots usually all over, and they kind of just rotate around. And so as a doctor is helping fix a spot, new hair is going to grow in. It's going to help that new hair that's growing in be thicker and as strong as it possibly can be. So it's definitely not a bad thing to use this for alopecia symptoms. My one last thing. Does everyone need to use this? No. Can everyone use this? Yes. But it's more specific towards people that fight thinning hair, breaking off hair, wanting more hair growth. If you already have thick and really full hair, then you don't necessarily have to use this, but it's always going to help your hair. Okay, I think that's all for today. Go ahead, and if you have any other questions, leave them down in the comments, and I will answer those individually. It will help other people be able to see your question and learn the answer as well. You can subscribe to my channel. I will consistently be putting videos up to help you through the process, to show results, to teach and continue to educate you guys about your hair and the hair recovery system. Okay, we'll talk to you later. Bye.